Hey guys, today we're going to be doing Twilight luxury photos of this 3,500 square foot home in Paradise Valley, Arizona. We already shot the daytime luxury photos of this home, so we left the home in the condition when we finished. We have all the lights still on. The only thing we did turn on is make sure that the sconces were on and that the garage light was on. And right now we're starting a little bit late. It's 6:23. Sunset was at 6:17, so sunset about 5 minutes ago. So we want to come back outside in about 15 minutes. I say 15 to 20 minutes. We're starting a little late, so we'll come out in 15 minutes. So I'm going to go to the clock. So either you can set an alarm or you can set a timer. I'm just going to set my timer for 15 minutes. And that should give us plenty of time. We're not going to focus so much on volume right now. We're just going to focus on the staged areas because they do have some staging in this particular property for sale. So, all right, let's come with me. Let's go inside. Also, what I am shooting with today is the Godox 8600 Pro, the A7R4, as well as the 16 to 35 G Master 2.8 Sony lens. So this home is situated really nice, and all the stages are to the back. The sun's setting that way, so the windows should already be looking good in the home. And I think, yeah, they already look good. This home has some pretty good lighting, so depending on the shot, we may or may not need to use our flash. If we can get away with not using flash, I think that's better. So, all right, so here's the staged area. I'm gonna scoot back a little bit. Let me widen the shot here. Now, let's see. I think this will be all right. There's a lot of light in this room. I'm trying to think here. Here, let's get a shot at 0. I'm just gonna, let me make sure I can see. All right, shot at 0. Turning off my focus so that all the exposures are the same. Let's turn on the flash. And let's bring it down. Actually, I might be fine. I'm just bringing it down a little bit so I can see a little more in the lamps. I'm gonna see what it looks like with this flash here. But the windows are nice and blue. I'm at 1/2. I'm trying to pick a spot where we wouldn't see too many hot spots. So I put a full CTO gel since it is at the end of the day. And we kind of do have a hot spot of that wall right there. If I go any further that way, it's not going to look so good. But honestly, I think from what I'm looking at, so right here, I'm just kind of testing my lighting to see, all right, am I getting a better result with my lighting or with an ambient? I actually like the ambient shot by itself, and I think the dynamic range is good. I'll be able to get all the data, at least in this shot, that I need. So I'm gonna be able to move faster without my flash, and we'll kind of make a decision on a room by room basis if we need to use it. But the lighting in here, we got a lot of can lights and a lot of lights shining down here, so I think we'll be fine at 0 for these shots. All right, let's just move. All right, now I'm gonna get that area. Everything looks good. I'm looking for areas that are blown out too much. Everything looks pretty good. Shutter speed's kind of slow, but it's still manageable. All right, so I got that here. I think in this room I got all 4 corners earlier, and this is one of the main staged areas, so I want to make sure to just maximize it. Now I don't want to be too far back with this lamp in the way, so I'll move it up forward. Just kind of get the setting here. Here, Ray, you'll have to move back a little bit for the reflection in the glass. I can see my camera poking away around a little bit. Now I'm just leaving my camera on manual focus. I focused it, but the focus areas that I'm shooting from room to room are the same from when I set it right here, so I'm not worried about resetting my focus. Now in here we have this fixture that's pretty bright. So let's get, actually, this room is not that important. Let's skip this room. We may get one if we want to going out, but we're gonna focus on the stage rooms. This is another stage room, and we'll get a shot back here and up close. We'll start with the up close one. I'm trying to hide my camera from the reflection right there. And I'm gonna start bringing down my aperture because my shutter speed's starting to get high already. I'm gonna bring it down, expose for the windows. And right here, in this room, the exposure time is longer because this room does not have very good lighting in it. So I'm gonna have to use light in this room. So I'm at 1/2. I brought down my aperture. That means I need to bring down my flash a little bit. So let's try this. Well, now I'm gonna try to avoid all the reflections in the shot, or at least move them around. Here, let me get a shot. Back here. It's almost too bright. What are the shots? Or should it be darker outside? I think let's see how it looks a little darker outside. No. Honestly, in the room looks warm, but we'll be able to adjust that. Here, I'm gonna take another shot over here. And then I'm gonna focus on the windows and just get a nice, let me take an ambient shot right here with no reflections, and then I'll boost it up a little bit. I think we might want them a little brighter. I just don't feel that confident in this shot right here. I'm on the edge right here of the image, so I'll be able to crop that in a little bit, so that's not the end of the day, end of the world. So I'm just looking at all my shots. I feel like I have enough right there to assemble a decent shot. So I'm gonna move back here and get this shot that's further back. All right. Now to save myself some time, I'm gonna just do continuous bracket. Let me reset focus. No flash. Oh, I'm at negative, sorry, I should have been at a 0. I was at -1. So that just kind of brings all your brackets down. Let's try it again. All right, so having the bracket shots, you have a lot of safety shots that you can use. I'm gonna turn on my flash and try to get a flash shot. With all of the windows, it seemed like I was getting a lot of issues, but let me see. So the windows look good at -1. So I'm gonna come over here. I'm trying to pick a spot. Sorry, I didn't switch it back to 2-second timer. I'm trying to pick a spot where my reflection on my flash won't show up. All right, just want it. And the closer I can get to the ceiling, the less wide my flash is, and it's kind of bright over there. But that's actually natural. So I'm just taking a second shot with it in a different spot, so I have options during the editing process. All right, let's do this angle here. This is a great shot because it shows the front door and the staircase, but just this room. So it's exposed well for out there, just in this room is dark. All right, let's see. think that's going to show up in the reflection here. Yep. But the lighting looks good. So this time I'm going to move it over here. And hopefully, yep, so now I don't have the reflection. That lighting actually looks pretty good right there. A little bit hot on the upper right, but we can bring down that corner during the editing process. All right, so that should be good for that room. We have the kitchen right here, that stage, and then that eat-in area. Let me go back to 0. Now in here, let's see, what do we got? The lights are a little bit bright, so I'm bringing it down, -1, exposing a little bit better for the lights, and then I'm going to use my flash. There's not too much that can reflect, only the cabinets, but we'll see what it looks like here. I'm hoping that this one might turn out good with a single exposure. And actually, I think that's good. We got no unrealistic reflections. Let me just do it again with a focus set for this as a safety, and then we'll move. I'm pretty happy with that shot. All right. And in this shot, this one's not that critical of a shot. I think I'm just going to take it at an ambient at -1 because the flash is just going to cause all these reflections off of the refrigerator. And I think the shot looks good as is. I'll be able to adjust. The lighting's good. Same with this one. Not so concerned about introducing flash when you don't necessarily need it. The last thing you want to do is create more work for yourself than you need if the lighting is good. Now, we have good lighting on this side of the room, but not so much on this side. It's not that bad though. We could do some exposure brushing on the right side to kind of match the left during the editing process. Let's go to 0. No, I say -1. Usually -1 is good for a lot of these light fixtures. Let me just take this shot right here. And now let me manual focus. Now I'm just gonna do a flash over here. Whoops, it would help if I turned it on. Just to kind of fill in light in this area that was kind of missing in this shot. We'll see if it might make it the easier. Actually, I think it looks good minus the hot spot. So yeah, I think we could use that portion from this. And then what do we got? That looks good. So we have ambient light. I feel like it was like stuck on that shot. So we have that. And then a brighter shot, so we could, yeah, I think we could, yeah, that'll work. All right, let's move on. Now earlier I didn't get a shot wider over here of both rooms. This one's a little bit tricky because we have nowhere to go over here without being in the shot, and it is really dark over there. So I'm going to take a shot here at -1, and didn't want that on. Do that again, and then I'm going to bring up the exposure just so that that room over there, back there, doesn't look so dark, even though it's kind of overexposed in this area. And I think that's pretty good right there. So we'll be able to use that side from that image and then the other side from the other image over here. All right, let's move on. We already got that shot. Do I want to, like, this shot? No. You know what? Both of these areas aren't they're not staged, they're not that important. I can kind of knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. I can take a corner shot and kind of get this little area right here, as well as this. This is a different angle than I got earlier. So at least we do have what we need. There's plenty of light in here, so I don't necessarily need to add more. But this is right here, this is a good, let me refocus it, turn off. I'm just backing out to make sure I'm not in there. But it is kind of overexposed in this area. So I'm gonna bring it down, looking at the light fixture. That looks good. So I'm gonna get an ambient like this. And then I'm also going to attempt a flashed shot, which might be challenging because I can't reflect it off of anything here, just right here. And maybe I power it down a little bit. Let's try 1/8. So I'm gonna have to get out pretty soon. Luckily, we're basically done in here. Okay, I wasn't sure if my flash was on. That didn't do much. Let's bring it up. So I'm gonna go right here, just because if I bounce it right there, it's gonna hit some of this in the room. I think that looks all right. I'm gonna get one more shot here. Just move the hot spot around so that I'll be able to kind of take pieces from different images. All right. And probably one of the last interior shots, so we got the stage. I think I'm gonna get one from here. Nothing upstairs is staged or anything. I might get one looking down though. So my alarm went off. That kind of gives me a 5-minute warning or tells me I need to be outside pretty quick. This one, it looks good out there. So I'm gonna take an ambient shot. Let me set the focus here. Now these windows are really tinted and they look pretty dark, but that's okay. I'm gonna bring it down. I'm gonna try to flash in here just to see what it does, just see what result I get. That's full power. It might be super bright. Yeah, you can see the reflection on the door window. So I'm gonna have to move a little bit. I'll get one more from over here. And that actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. A little bit of a bright spot, we can bring it in. And I think that will work. So I'll get one more shot here. And do we need a flash here? Probably not. Try 0, no, bring it down, -1. I guess we did need a flash right here. And I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more. Now let me bring it up so there's a nice blue. And I will flash just to kind of give me options when I'm editing. Not much difference there. Probably the ambient one is better. All right, so now just doing a checklist. Is there any other shots that I want to get before I head outside? And we're gonna do the front first because we're gonna shoot all the ones going away. Maybe I get a shot here. I'm at ISO 100. I know I can push my shadows quite a bit during the editing process, so I'm not too concerned that the tinted windows are super dark. All right, let's do -1.3 in here. I think that looks good. And then maybe I'll do another exposure. Yeah, if I bring it up, I'm not getting much more from those windows anyway. So if I just use that, I think I can edit that and make it look nice. All right. Anything else? Did I miss anything, Ray? There's nothing upstairs. Oh, the balcony shot. Sorry, one more shot. Looking down. And that was one shot that the agent specifically requested or said that she liked this shot. I got it earlier and I think it turned out really nice earlier, but having a second one, different time of day, since that was something that she talked about, I think will be nice to have the option. So let's just look down and focus. All right, do I want a wider shot showing the staircase? Might as well get it as well. Now, I'm shooting at -1 because I know in the editing process, it's easier to boost shadows and bring out detail than reduce your highlights where there's no data. That's more of a challenge with real estate photography. So at a -1 with all these lamps and light fixtures that are kind of blown out, so at least in this property, how the lighting is, I've been at mostly -1 on my single exposure shots. All right, front first. We'll shoot the front, back, and then go back to the front for even some darker shots. All right. All right, so one of the lights is on a sensor. It's a 2-second timer. Right, what I'm looking at is the sky. Let's put it on. Now out here, we're gonna be doing pretty much single exposures. So having it on auto, as long as this thing does pretty well. 1/4. We're at a 2.5-second timer, so I feel pretty confident at it. Sorry, need to turn on the trigger. I could have just been pushing the test button as well. All right, that looks pretty good, not overly lit. I'm gonna go down a little bit. I am a little bit concerned about how bright the interior of the home is. We just don't want the inside of the home to be overexposed. All right, that looks great. And we'll just get another shot here. Yeah, this is a decent, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of just kind of cockeyed angles, but this home, how it sits is a little different. Let's see how that looks. And that's blurry. So be sure to take a look at it. All right. A little dark, but we'll be able to boost. I'm pretty confident during the editing process on that. We'll try another straight shot here. And maybe I bring up the flash just a little bit. I got 1.6 second on this exposure. So let's see. All right, that will work. I'm off-centered, but I'll be able to crop it in. Let me take another shot over here. It's just kind of bothering me. And I am kind of looking up, but I left myself a good buffer to be able to crop, to straighten out the shot. That's kind of dark, but I know I'll be able to boost the shadows. Good, and yeah, I'm still at ISO 100, so we're good there. All right, so that should do it for the front. Now we're just gonna do the back, and that's it. Probably just a couple shots in the back. They have that staged area. All right, outside here, man, the sky's looking very dark over there. That is concerning. Let's go back to 0. I can see a little bit. I can still see detail in the highlights. I'm not gonna use a flash here. I'm gonna turn this off because how bright it is already. But as long as I can see a little bit of blue there, even as it's dark as it is, you'll be able to boost that shadow and it'll turn out nice. Now I'm just gonna, my exposures are kind of long. I'm just making sure that they are And out here they have some pretty bright floodlights. So I'm bringing down my exposure, 2-second exposure. I don't need my flash right now. And it's all about what lighting scenario you're running into in a particular room. Do you need it? Do you don't? It's almost like too much lighting. That's a good looking sky. Happy there. This is looking good right here. All right, processing. Before I'm done, I'm just gonna look to make sure. Now this one is kind of dark over here. I'm gonna take an ambient where the interior looks good. I can still see a little bit in the sky. All right, it's done. Manual focus, turning on my flash so it doesn't move. I got a 1-second exposure. That might be too much light. I feel like I flashed the heck out of this bush. But honestly, it turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. Maybe a little bit too bright. Let's bring it down one more time since... Here. That's good. I'm not focused right. I'm not trying to make that part any brighter. All right, that looks good to me. And let me do the sit area here. Now, because we shot earlier, we can be very efficient with these shots. And I didn't need a flash on this shot. Hopefully it didn't make it too bad. Let's take a look at it. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna take it again. Just turn on autofocus with no flash. And let me take a look. I think we might be pretty good with the shots that we got, because we weren't really trying to cover everything. It's just we're going through getting the best of the best shots so that we can add those to what the customer has. So anyways, that was pretty quick. You can go back out to the front and shoot again the front, but I'm pretty confident in the shots that we have right now that we don't have to do that. Right now it's 6:52, so like 35, 40 minutes after sunset, we're pretty much done. But yeah, it really just depends on the lighting of the home and the time of year. So we have a, kind of a slim window on how to maximize that nice blue sky without it looking really bad. In another 20 minutes, the sky would be really dark and the photos just wouldn't look so good in the sky. You'd always have to do sky replacements in that case. So anyways, that's gonna do it. Before we leave, we're gonna put the home back in the condition we found it. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to reach out. We'll see you guys on the next one.